ये स्क्रिप्ट तैयार की है राकेश वर्मा ने। We talk a lot about freedom, but have you ever really stopped and thought about what it means? I mean, what does it actually mean to be free? It's not just some big idea. It's a promise. A promise that's written right into the rule book of our country, the Constitution. And today we are going to open that book and see exactly what that promise looks like for you and me.
So what does being free look like in real life? Well, it's in the words you say, the people you meet, the places you choose to call home, and the career you want to build. In this explainer, we are going to walk through Articles 19 to 22 of the Indian Constitution. And trust me, this isn't a dry legal lecture. Think of it as us discovering the user manual for your own personal power. All right, let's kick things off with Article 19. This is the big one, the one we use every single day, probably without even realizing it. These aren't just ideas on paper. They are the actual tools you use to live your life as an active, engaged citizen. This is what gives you your voice, your right to gather, and your freedom to carve out your own path. And here they are, the 6 freedoms that are really the foundation of our entire democratic life. I mean, think about it. Posting an opinion online, joining a peaceful protest, starting a club or a business, or just packing your bags and moving to a new city. All of this is protected right here. But, and this is a really important point, these specific 6 freedoms are a special privilege for citizens of India only. So, that's the million-dollar question, right? Can I just say or do anything I want? And the answer is no, of course not. Imagine the complete chaos if there were no rules at all. The Constitution is smart. It's all about balance. Think of your freedoms like a really powerful sports car. It's amazing that you have the right to drive it, but we still need traffic lights and speed limits to make sure the roads are safe for everybody. These are the restrictions. In this slide shows that balance perfectly. For every freedom on the left, the state can put reasonable limits on the right in the interest of the whole country. So your freedom of speech doesn't give you the right to yell fire in a crowded theater or to incite violence. Finding that perfect line between your individual freedom and the safety of society is a constant debate, and it's our courts that have the tough job of figuring out where that line is. Okay, moving on. Let's switch gears a little. Imagine for a second that you're accused of a crime. That's a scary thought, right? You feel like you're up against the entire system. Well, Article 20 is basically your personal shield in that situation. It sets out very clear, very strict rules that the government has to follow, making sure that the game is always played fair. These are what I like to call the 3 golden rules of a fair fight. Let's quickly break them down. First, no ex post facto law. It's a fancy term for a simple idea. You can't be punished for something that wasn't illegal when you did it. Simple. Second, no double jeopardy. The state gets one fair chance to prove you're guilty. They can't just keep trying over and over again for the same thing. And third, this one is so important, no self-incrimination. This one sentence right here is the bedrock of your right to remain silent. It completely flips the script. It means the government has to prove its case against you. It is never, ever your job to prove that you are innocent. It's a fundamental protection against being bullied or forced into a confession. And if you want to see just how powerful this right is, look at this. In a huge case called Selvey versus State of Karnataka, the Supreme Court said that forcing someone to take a lie detector test or undergo narco-analysis against their will is unconstitutional. Why? Because the court understood that this right doesn't just protect your speech, it protects your very thoughts from being forcibly taken from your mind. That's incredible. Okay, now we come to what so many people call the absolute heart of all our rights, Article 21. This isn't just another right on the list. You could say it's the sun, and so many other rights are the planets that get their light from it. It is, without a doubt, the most important and the most powerful guarantee in our entire Constitution. At first glance, the words look pretty simple, right? But the magic here is in how this simple sentence has been understood over the years. See, in the beginning, courts thought it just meant the government had to follow the correct process to, say, put someone in jail. But that's all changed. Now our courts say the law itself has to be fair, just, and reasonable. It's not just about following the rules anymore. It's about making sure the rules themselves are just.
Just look at this journey. It's amazing. We started back in 1950 with a very narrow view. Liberty just meant not being physically locked up. Then boom, the Maneka Gandhi case in 1978 completely changed the game. The Supreme Court said life means the right to live with human dignity. And more recently, in 2017, the Puttaswamy case brought this right into the 21st century, declaring that your right to privacy is a core part of a dignified life.
So, what does life with dignity actually mean in practice? Well, it means a lot. The courts have said it includes your right to earn a living, your right to health care, your right to breathe clean air, and so much more. Article 21 is like a living thing. It grows and adapts to protect us in our modern world. It really is the right that keeps on giving.
So if the big goal is a life of dignity, what's one of the most basic, most essential things you need to even have a shot at that? How can you live a truly dignified life if you don't have the tools to understand the world around you? Well, that exact question led to a massive, game-changing addition to our Constitution. And here it is. In 2002, our country officially recognized that a life of dignity is pretty much impossible without education. So Article 21A was added, making education a fundamental right. This puts a direct responsibility on the government to make sure every single child between 6 and 14 years old gets to go to school. It's the key that can unlock a person's entire future.
And finally, we arrive at Article 22. Okay, I want you to think of this as your practical must-have guide. It's the part of the Constitution that tells you exactly what your rights are if you are ever arrested or detained. It's the part that's there to protect you when you might be feeling the most powerless. These are your absolute, non-negotiable rights in a regular arrest. 1. The police have to tell you why you're being arrested. 2. You have the right to call a lawyer. 3. You must be taken before a judge within 24 hours. This is so important because it prevents anyone from just being locked away without any oversight.
But, and this is where it gets a bit complicated, Article 22 also has a very powerful and, frankly, controversial exception called preventive detention. This is when the state is allowed to detain someone not for a crime they've committed, but to prevent a crime they might commit. It's a very unique part of our Constitution, a fundamental right that actually contains its own powerful limitation.
Wow, we have covered a ton of ground, haven't we? From your right to speak your mind, to your right to a dignified life, all the way to your rights if you're ever in trouble with the law. So let's take a breath and put it all together so it really sticks.
This little table is the perfect cheat sheet for everything we've talked about. Article 19, that's your voice and your freedom to move, but for citizens only. Article 20, that's your shield against unfairness in the justice system. Article 21, that's the big one, the heart, your right to a life with dignity. 21A is the key to that dignity through education. And Article 22 is your rule book for when you're detained. See how they all fit together? They form this amazing, powerful web of freedom.
Because at the end of the day, these rights aren't just words in a dusty old book. They are your tools. They are your armor. And just by understanding them, just by knowing they exist, you've already taken the biggest and most important step towards being able to use them, to defend them, and to help build a country that is truly free and just for every single one of us.
So, I want to leave you with a final thought. Now that you're armed with this knowledge, how does it change how you see the world? How does it empower you in your day-to-day life? Because understanding is just the beginning. In our next explainer, we're going to dive into the right against exploitation. Remember, every single right you learn about makes you stronger and wiser. Thanks for joining me on this journey.
So, my friends, if you found this information useful, just take 1 second to like the video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel. Because your small supporter helps awareness-based educational videos like this
reach more learners.
And yes, do tell us in the comments which topic you want in the next video. Thank you so much. See you again in the next video with new knowledge.